Hi and welcome to Add More Zest. My name's Rebecca, also known as 4Kids at 147. Happy 27th of June, everybody. How has it got through June that quick? So I am working on, so this is the Paint Gem mini set. This is the Space 2 set, and it's just called the Moon. It is just called the Moon. We have quite a bit of black, but we have this really nice border with scattering, so perfect for glow-in-the-dark drills for today. Now, I am being a little bit lazy. I'm going to use the same, I'm going to swap it. I was going to use the same tray as I used last time, but we've got quite a bit of grey in this. So I'm going to swap for my old faithful pink. I'm using the Zesty. I quite often like using the big one, but on these mini paintings, I love using the Zesty. And I'm going to stick with the black pen because, as I said, being lazy, which is partly because this is the last video that I've done in a little bit of a run to ensure that I've covered my son's birthday. So I'm using the pink tray that will be back in the shop very soon, and I'm using the black pen from our shop, which is available now with a metal tip that's available now. So yeah, apologies for not being creative, but yeah, I've just done a little run of waffle videos, so I'm getting close to being all chatted out, and yeah, it's just laziness. I do nip out each time I've finished a waffle. So Luna was just getting into a little bit of a crazy phase. She's just had some zoomies around the garden, and she should settle down now. She actually was looking at me as though she was ready to go to bed, because it's later on in the night here. And it's normally the time that me and her go to bed. But I wanted to get this waffle done because, as I say, I normally film the night before, unless I try and squeeze it in after work, when I finish work, but that's always very dangerous to have enough time to film the video and edit and upload it. And there's been at least one that was a little bit late due to that. So because we're having the get together for my son's birthday on Sunday, I didn't want to be trying to film after that, because who knows how late it will be. So yeah, now you know I'm doing this one a little bit earlier, but I still have lots of comments and questions, etc. to be able to go through, because you guys are amazing at leaving comments and questions and things to discuss, and I can just waffle anyway, quite often going off on a tangent. So I'm just doing my little edges first, try and get my edges as straight as I can. Or at least I'm doing these two edges. I like to do the bottom and the to the left. And then I think I might do some of the step technique that I like to do steps over checkerboard when I'm working on a block. But this is the last of the black out my pot, so I will need to refill. I've not gone through and refilled everything yet, because they're all getting close to the end of the painting selections. I think I've actually got a few more museum pieces then I potentially have some of the others. But that's okay, because random is random. Random is as random is. And that's what the shake-up decided. So, comments. Crystal, she says, oh, that is the perfect bit of sparkle, she said, for this space butterfly. She says, you asked a question on the last video. She thinks it was what to do with the leftover bits of filament. She said she would love a trash drill pot. She says maybe in the shape of a bone or a paw print for Luna. She said, just a thought. I'll have to get hubby looking at what he can create. Have a little bit of a mess with the software, because that part is definitely his department over mine. I often come up with the ideas and then he sees if he can find a way to make it happen. Amy, she says she's slowly catching up. She says, why not get him to do the videos and you pack? He said he can sit on a stool to make it easier. She said she's having a joke because it would not be the same without me. I am not sure if hubby would be up for doing a full video, that's for sure. Right, I'm just going to grab my spare diamonds for the space set because I need some more 310. As you can imagine, this one has a lot of 310. So let's see how many fit in the pot. Okay, the pot is nearly full, though there is space. But then I'm just going to tip the last of the bag straight into my tray, because on this one I am quite safe in the knowledge that I'm going to use most of these, and we'll definitely have enough room to fit them back into the pot. They're a nice, snug, close fit, these ones. So I do find that they click in quite easy, and when it comes to putting these ones in the middle, that they will click in quite well. And I think I'm managing to do my steps in a very weird way because I'm missing the odd one. But we'll keep going. Every now and then I do a square that I don't need to do yet. But that's fine because the diamonds all need to go down in the places of the H eventually. She says, Amy says, she says her son was asleep in 10 minutes. She said, thanks. She said, at the minute, she doesn't know if it's hay fever or a cold, but he's a little bit ill at the moment. But she says she thinks it might be hay fever. She says, also, she says, thanks to me, she's going to have to get the 2 space sets at some point. And she's happy to do them. They are really nice, these space sets, I must say. Well, all of the sets are. I just like the fact that they're all different and they all don't take a huge chunk of time, and you have something finished at the end of it. So, yeah, it's all fun. Right. Just trying to make sure that they've all gone down the best they can. You're probably not going to be able to see a lot of this, because I do find when you're putting black on, especially when the background is fully black, even though the letter disappears, I still feel like you don't see as much of a dramatic change as you do when it's a colour. But once the black's done, I'll be able to fill in everything else, which will be good. There'll be quite a bit of satisfying clicks when these little diamonds go into these little gaps. which will be good. Susan, she said, how about a tip and tricks video for the Tiny Decisions app? She said she's enjoying the last waffle for June today as she is heading out on an Alaskan cruise. Ooh, very nice. She said she will catch up when she returns in July. I do have a video on the Tiny Decisions app. I might see if I can sort of condense that / do another one for a tips and tricks, because it's not in the tips and tricks series. So I'll have to look that back and see if I can, you know, sort of see what I covered in that video and see if I can add a little bit extra and cover something a little bit different along with the same stuff in a tips and tricks. But yeah, good shout. She said her beautiful Paris and flowers, she says we'll have to wait for the last 10 videos when she catches up. But she has 10 Paint Gem National Parks to do while she's on vacation. Well, that's not a bad thing. She so enjoyed the videos as well as the camaraderie in this lovely community. Thanks, Rebecca and everyone. She says, love from Canada. Oh, thank you. I do say it wouldn't be the same without all of you guys, your comments, your questions, your helping each other out, all that sort of stuff. It does make a huge difference. And it does make it so much nicer for everybody, I think. For everybody. Susan, she says, oh yeah, she says the butterfly nebula came out perfect. She says she loves the scattering of ABs in this one. She's getting a lot of diamond painting done, she said, thanks to me. And my long whip and chat, she says, so thank you very much. You are welcome. Enjoy the time diamond painting. Yeah, enjoy your me time. See if you can fit it in July as well. Why not? If you can, do. 4 Littlies from One Smiley Kylie. Love that name. She says, thank you so much for your whip and waffles. She says she hopes that the weather in the UK is as nice and warm as she is currently sitting in her lounge doing her whip, having to wear multiple layers with the fire roaring as it's a rather chilly winter's day here in New Zealand. The temperature, she said, is currently sitting at an icky 8 degrees Celsius. Ooh, that's cold. Yeah, we've had quite a few warm days. It's now currently a little bit more overcast and muggy. Or at least it is as I'm filming this. It's extremely muggy. I actually walked into the craft room because I do, as I said earlier, I do nip out between each whip and chat, check on the house and the pup, and this craft room is a lot stuffier than the rest of the house, or at least than the conservatory for sure. I think it's just because I've been closed in here for a little bit. It's made it a bit stuffier, and I do shut the door when I go out because otherwise Luna likes to come and see what she's not allowed in here, because she's not allowed in the craft room, and every now and then she likes to try and sneak in just to check, you know, that I'm not hiding her treats in here or something. Anna, she says the painting is beautiful and the ABs make it look awesome. She said that she bought an off the canvas jewellery box, pulled the insides out, diamond painted it, and she uses it to store her larger cover sheets. Oh, that's an idea, because they do often come with insides that are removable. I like that idea. Right, I am tipping more black into my tray. This is where the bigger tray probably would have been better for all this black that I need to do, because it is quite a lot. The bigger tray would have been better. Desire for Diamonds, she says we seem to have skipped forward a month. So she's commenting on the 19th of June when I said it was July. She said, Rebecca is wishing the months away, as at the start of the video you said happy 19th of July. Yeah, I did. She said she's catching up on her whip and waffles while she's completing her Diamond Dots cupcake painting. She says she's not got much left to go now, and she's already kitted up her next one, which was sent to her to review. It's a 30 by 30 tiger. She says it's lots of purples and pinks, so it's going to be pretty when it's completed. She's also hoping to use some of her AB drills from her current Diamond Dot kits in the tiger. Yes, I'm sure the tiger, especially like those purple tiger ones that you can get, would look really, really good with some ABs in. It'd look fun. She also said, on today's video, the 20th, you can tell she's on catch up because she's the two comments in the queue from two different videos. She said you were talking about the possibility of going through your stash and seeing which paintings would benefit from having AB drills in them. She said I might do a video on it. She said she would love to see the process on how you would do this, as it would also help her on deciding the placement of AB drills. She said she's... Oh, let me actually pick up that diamond. Just checking I didn't drop one. She said she's very close to completing her Diamond Dots painting. The end is in sight, and she has also caught up on my June Waffles. So at the time of that comment, she was all caught up. See, and you get to diamond paint as well. 2 birds, 1 stone. Job done, and enjoying it while you're doing it. Sarah Jane, she said hers use treat balls. She said but slow them down, and they use Kongs at the kennels where she works as well, she said. Yeah, I don't actually know what Luna's done with her Kong at the moment. It seems to have disappeared. But she has enough puzzles and treats and toys that we can give her. Some of them can have bits of food in that keep her entertained when she has her 11s, which is when I just like to give her a little bit of her food, just to keep her going, because she loves food. The Life of Katie said she's loving the whip and waffles. She says she has loads to catch up on after a busy week of visitors. In her visiting their new house in Devon after moving from South Wales. She said thank you for the tips on keeping the diamond straight, square diamond straight. She says she's getting there. Practice makes it perfect, She said, thank you for your hard work and for keeping us all company. You're welcome. I love it. Even if I have spent the evening diamond painting a few diamond paintings, it's been nice to feel like I have had chance to get some diamond painting done. Albeit some mini ones, but my little pile of mini ones that are completed is really stacking up. Especially if I add the other ones I've done. Katie Ann, she says, hi Rebecca. She said she hopes that we both had a good weekend away. She said she's finally caught up on the fab June Waffle. Seems like the 20th of June was the day for catch up. She said she still can't decide which ones she likes best of the mini paintings. But she said the flowers are very high on her list, but she's struggling for a second set. If you like the colour, and it's the colour of the flowers and stuff that you're liking, then probably either the new fruit one or the cocktails is the best for colour. If it's just more the horticultural, if I even said that right, type of stuff, then the houseplants ones is amazing. Or you could go for something completely different. You know, the national parks or the space sets are just really nice because they're different as well. And they're full drill rather than partial drill, like some of the others are. So, but yeah, it's a hard decision to make, especially when, you know there's one, but then there's a few others. So if you really don't have a huge preference as to which, I would possibly go for one of the national parks. They're sort of a full drill painting, but the pictures are absolutely gorgeous and would tie in quite nicely with your flowers as well. She says she's managed to do a few different crafts this month. She had, including crocheting a baby blanket, making her Lego flower kit. I think I've seen that on the group. Megan has that kit. Megan's done that one. And she's been making up bean bags for her grandson's school. Oh, and she says she has also completed a few diamond paintings. That is a busy month, and that is a lot of different crafts that you're fitting in there. I love it. Definitely quite a few different things. Keeping it varied, keeping yourself busy. I like it. Liz Harrison, she says she finds when she's worked on a few poured glue canvases, moving to a double-sided tape one is awful. There definitely is a difference. There definitely is. Especially if you put a diamond in the wrong place and want to scoot it over. That is not something that is anywhere near as easy with a double-sided tape. Poured glue is definitely my preference if I was given. The cat lady, she said when their dog was getting better with chewing, they said she still loved to have toys. Squeakies didn't always last long, but she would be distracted by chewing off the facial features of her toys. She too loved water bottles, so bad that she would collect them on her walks. And she said it's good that we enjoyed our breakaway. Yeah, well, if you want water bottles for your dogs, go for the smoothie ones. Because Luna currently has 3, I think she's got now. And it's been quite a few days. She still does enjoy them. especially when she accidentally knocks into one and hears it on the wooden floor. In fact, there's a couple that are sort of outside. Every now and then she likes to take her toys outside and just leave them there for me to have to collect. Trying to get her to put her toys away, but at the minute she just looks at me. So yeah, the smoothie ones, she's still going quite a few days later on those, and we've not had to take any of them off her yet due to them being destroyed. So that's always good. 20101946 Iffy. She said, you mentioned how Luna loves food. She said she's a spaniel cross and all spaniels live to eat. She said her paint gem dogs and parks arrived today. She said, and surprise, surprise, she says there wasn't any static in the dog's bags. So she actually didn't need any dryer sheets. Woohoo! She said she's hoping the parks will be the same. Sometimes I do really think it depends on the weather when they're packed. And I think that's why the whole batch of mine was affected. I think it really can depend on the weather. When they're produced or when they're packed, I'm not sure which. But I'm sure it must be as frustrating for the factory that's trying to pack them as it can be for us. She said she loves the Peony Flower and the ABs look perfect. Thank you. The Life of Katie. She said she's glad that she's had a few videos to watch. Ooh. That diamond, I decided to put it down in the diamond position and not the square position. So if you wondered what I was doing, twisting my pen around, it's because I put it the wrong way. Katie says she's glad she had a few videos to watch to keep her company while she was waiting for her dad to have his arm plastered after he broke it, getting his hand caught in a conveyor belt at work. Ouch! That doesn't sound like a lot of fun. I hope he's feeling better, and hopefully he can get a little bit of chance to rest if his arm is in a cast. Though it'll probably frustrate him within a day, but hopefully he's getting a little bit of relaxed time in there as well. Spooky Crafts. She says by far the best thing she ever bought for her dog was the Canopera. I probably hashed the name of that. She said large wood chew stick, she said, from Pets at Home. She said zero idea how that's pronounced. Oh good, we can hash it together. She said it's literally a large thick chunk of wood in a stick branch shape made from coffee tree wood. She said Ozzy, her French bulldog, has had his for about 6 months now and it's still going strong. Oh, I will look that one up at Pets at Home, because we do have a Pets at Home rather close to us. The kids did take Luna on a trip in the car once to like a forest / park that we have close to us. She came back after having the most amazing day out that involved puppy ice cream and everything, but they did take her on a trip to Pets at Home where dogs can go in, but apparently she was very overwhelmed and loving all the smells. So yeah, maybe we should take her there again, see if she's still overwhelmed by all the smells and wants all the things and all the foods, which she probably does. Billy, she said, hi Rebecca. Ooh. She said, glad you guys had a great anniversary weekend away. She said she loves the ABs on the peony. She's a bit jealous because she finished her flowers a month ago. She said, tip, she said she uses the screw top pots. She pours a few drills into the top because it annoys her when she sticks her pen in the pot and ends up with drills stuck to the side of the pen. She says she's really enjoying spending the time with us every day. Thank you. She also said that she freezes a water bottle about half full for Hank in the summer, which is where her username on Facebook comes from, by the way. Hank is the name of her dog. Okay, next. So I'm going to do this in glow in the dark. It's not quite the bright 5200 that is used in this set. It's more like the colour of 3865 because of its coating to make it glow in the dark. But I think it still has that dramatic stand out enough to look like it's supposed to. So that's all my little squares around the outside. Okay, letter M. Let's start from here and let's go round and add in my little what will be glow in the dark section when it's all finished and I turn the light off. And it's evening, nighttime here, so you should get a bit more of the effect than it may be when I do it in the daytime. Liz, she says she is currently a day behind on the waffles as she is still on holiday, as their accommodation in the Forest of Dean wasn't up to standard. So they had to find an alternative accommodation and they found a beautiful cottage in the Cotswolds. So she travelled on the 20th. She said it was a very stressful day, which I can imagine. You don't need that, especially when you're on holiday. You don't need the added stress. All the stress and organisation should have been before. You don't want things going belly up when you're supposed to be relaxing. She said a takeaway and a drink were in order on the day she got settled. They got settled, and she loves the nebula picture. Well, I'm hoping you are now enjoying the Cotswolds and enjoying your time in the cottage, and hopefully you can enjoy the rest of your holiday and forget all the bad parts now, because the bad parts shouldn't be what you think of every time you think of your holiday. That's for sure. Right, I'm just going hunting for some M's because it's a very similar colour to the K in lightness. Okay, all the M's are now done, so I am going to get pretty much an outline of the moon. So let's pop all the glow in the dark ones back, and then I'm going to get out my K, which is a little bit, I think it's a little bit darker than the glow in the dark. There is a little bit of a difference, but not a huge amount, because of the fact that I've used the glow in the dark rather than the white. But there is a difference. Liz has also, I was trying to work out now if Liz had said the same as what she said before, but she's actually not. It's because she was playing catch up So she's then commented on the 21st as well, but they've shown up as 2 comments together because I read the comments out in the order they're placed, not the video they're placed on. She said she's all caught up after Monday. She said last minute change in holiday location. She loves the Peony, and she said she's glad that we had a nice weekend away. She said they used to have a lab, and she loved pig ears, as somebody previously mentioned. They also gave her Dentasticks each day, and she had lovely white teeth and no dental problems. They lost her when she was 12. Yeah, we have got some Dentasticks or puppy version of Dentasticks for Luna. Initially we've given her them spaced out by a few days, just because she did have a little bit more runny number 2s after the first time, and we weren't actually sure whether it was the Dentastick or whether it was something else, but we did lay off it for a few days until she was back to normal, and then we tried her again, and she was fine after that. So now she tends to have one every few days, and she really likes them. In fact, when she was having trouble with her teeth the other night, where she wasn't in pain, she wasn't, she was fine with people touching her mouth, but I think it was just a little bit annoying because she was in the middle of losing a tooth, which she lost the next day. We did give her a Dentastick that day to sort of help her to loosen it and clear anything out. But yeah, she loves them. It's extra food, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? If it can be eaten and go into her stomach, she's more than happy. She'll do it all day. Amanda, she says she's loving the flower that I am doing today, which was the Peony on the 21st. She said she got done early on her daughter's countdown to her birthday diamond painting. I like it. Productivity early on in the day. Sometimes that leads to chill time for the rest of the day, and sometimes that leads to go, go, go. And you never know which when you start. Carol says, which park did you go to when you went to Centre Parks, and did you see red squirrels? We went to Winfell Forest for hours, which is that the lakes? So yeah, we went to Winfell Forest. We did see at least one red squirrel. We actually saw it when we were at the falconry part. There was one that went running along. One of the birds of prey did not get it. You'll be glad to know. They were not at the time interested, but yes, we did see at least one red squirrel, which makes a nice change because I think they're mainly grey around here, the odd ones that we do see. Jackie, she says she's glad that we had a lovely weekend. She says, please can you show us your cross-stitch backstitch? She says it would be nice to see your progress. Cross-stitch was one of her hobbies in the past. Yes, I can. I can show you my cross-stitch. In fact, let's have a pause, diamond painting pause, because if I don't do it now, I'll forget. There is not a lot done at the moment. So this is my Christmas cross stitch. and this is where I'm at the moment. So I've done, this is about 3 threads, I think, individual threads used, but I think I've used about 3 in the bit that I did while we were away. So I've got my outline around the windows and a little bit at the bottom, and I've done a few little bits in the curtains. There's quite a few bits that are single thread black, then there's a few that are a double. I think there's even some that are a triple in some of the places over here, but I didn't have a pen with me in Center Parks. And the next bit that does a black straight bit is down here somewhere, and then it goes into loads of bits in the tree, and there was no way I was starting to do that without having a pen to mark it off. So I've actually not got a lot done, even though that's probably an hour or two's worth, maybe a bit less than that. It took me a little bit at first to figure out what colours I was using, you know, what backstitch I needed to do, because the pattern I'm doing is actually in Russian. So there is like a Google Translate where you can take a picture and it will translate the text for you. So I did use that to make sure that I was looking at the right thing and I was understanding the right thing. I've had to do that. I had to do that when I first started it to check I've got everything right. And then I did it at the start of the back stitch to check that I got everything right. So yeah, it would not surprise me if it still takes me till Christmas to do it, because there is a lot of backstitch in that cross stitch. But I will be trying to get more done. So far, since we've come back, I haven't had time to even do any of my flamingo diamond painting or my cross stitch. So I'm hoping to get some more done at least throughout this month, but we will see what happens. Right, I've got 2 more colours to do on the moon. So let's start with L. Jackie also said, she says she's bought dog's toys for her friend's Staffy from Aldi. She says, and they do last quite well. She said when she had a dog, he used to like the big plastic cola bottles. They used to leave the lid on because he liked the crinkly noise it made in his mouth. So it stayed round. Yes, Luna does love the crinkly sound. She does also like ripping off the bottom of them. So she will sit there and grab hold of it in her paws to do it. That's what she's done with a few of her soft toys. If she realises that it has something that can come off, she will grip it in her paws and keep pulling. And you know she's working on getting some part of her toy to come apart. And that's when we have to keep a very close eye or remove. Helen, she says she thinks that the Peony Flower is her favourite of all the flower paintings. She says it's beautiful. Thank you. I love so many. I don't know, it's going to be very hard for me when we're all done to decide which one is my favourite out of all the mini ones I've done, because the little additions done in some of them, it just really, really makes them pop. I really like it. Jackie said that Christmas mini picks would be good to as special cards that people can bring out every year. Yeah, some Christmas mini paintings will be good. I do need to mention that idea to my contact at Paint Gem. It is in my head that it needs to be done. It's just not quite got there yet. Anna, she says, great video. She said she was very surprised to see that her order from our shop arrived today. She said only 11 days since ordering. She said she thought for sure, since it was coming from England to the US, that it would be 3 weeks from ordering. Well, keep that in your head, Anna, because sometimes it is. It varies so greatly. Orders from England to the States. It seems as though they are either super quick or super slow. And a lot of the time it seems to, and I may be wrong, this is just, from orders we have been able to track or have been able to see, is if it hits Chicago or not. And sometimes it can hit Chicago and go through Chicago really quick. But other times, oh my goodness me, do they like to keep hold of them. I don't know. I mean, I suppose you guys in the US will know more if there are certain, sorting offices or input places for mail that are having more problems than others. But by Jove, sometimes they test us. They really do. Just fishing out my little piece of dryer sheet that wanted to get in the tray. Christine, she said the ABs on the peony look lovely. She bought the cocktail set, she said, for her eldest daughter for her birthday. She has a 5-year-old son, so being able to do small paintings will be ideal for her. Yes, especially when you've got a little one that needs your attention. Plus, you need to feel like you're achieving something. And that can be hard to do if you don't get as much time to diamond paint. She said, Luna sounds so intelligent. She said, their girl has only chewed one thing. She said, a plastic clog while she was out shopping. She came home with new ones. I came home with new ones, she said. It makes me wonder if she knew that the clogs were going to be retired, and that she's glad we had a nice break. Yeah, Luna is extremely intelligent. I mean, in the fact of things she will learn for food, she is really, really intelligent in that way. At the moment, it is now getting her attention if you don't have food. If you don't have food or a treat, getting her to listen sometimes. She can be easily distracted from listening if it doesn't involve food. That can be the challenge. Sherry T says, using the macaroon, she said, is a brilliant idea. She said, pop a piece of Sherry said, using the macaroon is a brilliant idea. She said, pop a piece of dryer sheet in with the nut and it will cut the static again, she said. Catching up on waffles as they were off camping. Lots of little holidays being had in June. I'm guessing this is those avoiding the school holidays, potentially. I mean, ours was timing according to, our anniversary, but there was quite a few people on holiday at Centre Parks when we went, as you can imagine. Quite a few with younger children, especially, who were possibly avoiding the holidays. Susan, she says, oh, that's a pretty flower today. She says she loves pink and pink flowers are her favourite. She said, it's so wonderful to hear that you and hubby had a great time. She said her husband and herself live in a very touristy place, so she always leaves early or late to do fun things, so that they don't get caught up on them in the madness, she said, of people arriving and leaving at the same time. I can completely understand that. I mean, this is not touristy, but I know we definitely go to IKEA, which is extremely close to us. We go to IKEA when the visitors don't. We have worked out the key times that living 5 minutes from IKEA can be a benefit, because we do not make a day of it and we do not go when everybody else does. So I can imagine it is exactly the same for you, Susan, and you probably get a nicer time because of it. Okay, the moon is done. Let's have a quick look. Let me shut the computer. Let's have a look at what it looks like with the lights off. Ooh, pretty. It looks like a moon, but it also doesn't look like a moon because of those little gaps, but I like it. I think it looks a little bit jazzy. Ooh, that took a little bit to focus back. I don't know if that looked the same for you as it did for me, but that took my lights a little bit to focus back on, or my camera, to focus back on the moon and not on the lights. Ooh, that made my eyes go funny looking at the camera then. But there we go, another one done. Thank you all, as always, so much for joining me, and hopefully you'll join me tomorrow for another. Speak to you all then.